In addition to the damage to the basement, take a look at this vintage Chrysler right here. It's stuck about a third of the way in the mud, there are sticks all around it, and there's no telling how long it's going to be until the family can get it out. Daviana says they started chasing her here, continued to run down the hill and into the street, yanked her by the hair, and knocked her down. There are over 30 babies commemorated in this rose garden, most of them just a few days old. In Amanda's case, her son was a stillborn. The father of the family that lived in the house had a lot of collectibles from NASCAR, like a signed Dale Earnhardt clock, and even this stuff from Bill Elliott that's still sitting here on the site. Most customers chose to get a tattoo commemorating an animal, kind of like this one.
Just devastated me because I know that could have been me.
A neighbor is in shock after she watched her friend's house burn to the ground early Saturday morning.
I would say at least not even 5 minutes for the whole house to be up in flames.
The family of 5 lived in this trailer here on Briscoe Mill Road in Bethlehem. The family lost everything they own in the fire. The father of the family that lived in the house had a lot of collectibles from NASCAR, like a signed Dale Earnhardt clock, and even this stuff from Bill Elliott that's still sitting here on the site. The mother, father, and one of their 3 children were in the trailer at the time the fire started. Gina describes to me what she saw from just a few hundred feet away.
It just spread from the trailer back here. When I was standing on my front porch, I couldn't even come out on the porch. The flames were so it was so hot.
Gina then shows me where a grill was that the Barrow County Fire Department says ignited the fire. Lieutenant Scott Dakin says that a charcoal grill the family used earlier that day was still hot enough to catch their front porch on fire. He suggests that everyone who uses a grill take these precautions.
My suggestion would be if you don't want to be cooking on your deck or around up against your house or anything like that. You also don't want to be underneath overhanging leaves, tree limbs, or anything like that.
Maybe if you follow these tips, your family may be spared a devastating fire.
I mean, it hurts my feelings just thinking about it because I know all the kids' stuff was in there and they really have nothing left.
It's a local park. Kids, families come here to play without fear. Until recently, when a group of teens chose this location to harass random parkgoers, including 16-year-old Daviana.
I walked down this hill right there and they were just getting closer and closer behind my back.
Daviana was at the park with her younger siblings when the group started picking on her.
Walked past the girl was taking off her jewelry like she was finna get ready and fight me.
Daviana says they started chasing her here, continued to run down the hill and into the street, yanked her by the hair, and knocked her down.
A boy caught me because the girls couldn't catch up with me. He grabbed me by my hair, pulled me down to the ground, and punched me in my face.
He pulled Daviana's hair so hard that some of it was lying in the street, along with beads from a necklace pulled from her neck.
I was screaming. I was telling the people, can I please call the police?
Daviana's 11-year-old sister ran to help her and was also attacked.
A 16-year-old punched me in my face and he was holding me down.
Police tell us they've seen this kind of random violence before. It's called free picking. A group of teens choose someone to beat up.
She could have been killed.
Daviana's mother says she hopes her daughter's ordeal will help spread awareness of free picking.
I feel like the community needs to know.
Daviana says she now pays attention to her surroundings, but is not afraid to keep going to the park.
Just because you jumped me doesn't mean you took my freedom away from coming to this park. I'm still gonna come here.
Brittany Nicholson, Fox 5 News. Athens-Clarke County seems to be pedal to the metal with economic growth this year. With talk of a new big business downtown and Caterpillar moving into Athens, the area seems promising for a better economy. That may be why a national economic development consulting firm chose Athens-Clarke County as the top small county nationwide for economic growth. So what makes this county stand out against all other counties in Northeast Georgia?
Well, one big thing is the University of Georgia. Not just the fact that the university is here, but what comes out of the university in terms of the talent that is here and the talent that stays here.
In fact, every single one of the top 10 small-sized communities chosen for 2012 have a large university in them. Research and technology from the University of Georgia pour about $330 million into the economy each year. But that is not the only factor.
The music industry is a big factor because it has grown, not because anybody tried to grow it necessarily, it just kind of evolved.
The music industry and the arts set Athens apart from all other communities in the Southeast. The Athens music scene is in the ranks of Los Angeles, New York, and Nashville. The combination of music, arts, and higher education may be what makes Athens stand apart from all other small communities in the nation. In Athens, Brittany Nicholson, Grady News Source. Step by step, Athens is on its way to a more locally grown and environmentally friendly community. Eric Wagner's office is no ordinary office. He uses it to exercise, post his podcast, practice his banjo, and, of course, work. Eric says he can get 2 things done at once when he walks at work.
About half the time while I'm here working, I just walk nice and slow, and keeps me limber and my belly small.
In addition to everything else he does at work, Eric also checks Athens Locally Grown. He formed the online ordering system that local farmers can use to sell more produce in the area. This local website made him a recipient of this year's Alec Little Award.
It's a great honor for me.
The award recognized individuals and organizations for environmental responsibility. The winners are chosen by past winners and founders of the award.
This year we felt that because the local food movement is growing in popularity and certainly growing in the number of people who are involved in it and in the impact that it's having, that it's worth, it was time to recognize this movement.
But the award does not mark the end of Eric's career as a farmer. Staying environmentally and nutritionally conscious is something that he has done and always will do. In downtown Athens, Brittany Nicholson, Grady News Source. Why is this a common sight in downtown Winder? I'm going to tell you coming up. You'll never believe it, but I'm going to tell you what happens when a dump truck meets 2 cop cars. What Athens local was performing in downtown Athens, and what was he protesting? I'll tell you on Grady News Source. It is Kelly, and right now I'm looking at a 900-acre plot that Caterpillar is set to start construction on. It's a pretty remote part of Athens, Clarke, and Oconee counties. However, the international company will have a big effect on the local businesses. That is absolutely right. At the center of this paranormal activity is the Old Granite Hotel in downtown Winder. Remember, the city voted to demolish it in December of 2011. So today I took a look at another landmark that may be at the center of this haunting. Tonight we have the latest on one of the biggest drug busts today in Georgia. Good evening, I'm Brittany Nicholson.
And I'm Copeland Tucker, but first we have some breaking news for you.
This week in Athens, organization is featuring their 12th annual production of the Vagina Monologues. What you are seeing here are local women rehearsing for the show that runs tomorrow night through Sunday at 8 p.m. The event benefits Project SAFE, a local organization that works to end violence against women. The Vagina Monologues has been performed all over the world in over 20 languages.
Neat stuff. Now, Brittany, you were there with me on Saturday. What were your first impressions of this thing?
It was crazy. I mean, I was freezing and I wasn't jumping into ice water, so I can imagine how they were feeling.
Yeah, they were certainly feeling cold.
Will you guys be doing it next year?
I don't think so. No, not for me.
Yeah,
not for me.
No.